Hi, I'm Jesse McAnally. I'm the host of Musicals with Cheese, but I'm not just that, I'm also a filmmaker, and today I am launching a Kickstarter to help fund my first feature film, entitled The Daughters of the Domino. The plot follows Detective Nina Rose, acclaimed for arresting her own serial killer father, the Domino, but destroying her relationship with her sister Laura. Years later, the Domino is dead, but Laura's daughter Jules goes missing, so the sisters must reunite and work together to find Jules before it's too late. Sounds like a pretty good film, right? Something you'd like to see? Well, that's why you should check out our Kickstarter, or go to daughtersofthedomino.com for more information. I repeat, daughtersofthedomino.com. So what are you waiting for? We gotta get this movie made, and we can't do it without you. Go check us out. Hello, I'm Jesse McAnally.
And I'm Andrew DeWolf.
And I'm Brianna Jones.
And welcome to Musicals with Cheese, a podcast where I try to get Andrew and Bree to like musical theater. How are you two doing tonight on this spooky penultimate, Halloween episode? Ooh, it's Halloween.
I'm a little frightened. I mean, you have all these candles and the jack-o'-lantern, and you have a bunch of other stuff there. I can't really tell what's going on with all that.
No, I'm very branded today, and you didn't mention my ghost shirt.
I really like the ghost shirt.
I pull it out once a year for Halloween episodes of this show, and never else.
I like it.
You don't even wear it on Halloween itself?
No, I do not.
What do you wear on Halloween?
I usually just wear normal everyday clothes because I stay in, because I'm a grown up.
Yeah, but you don't watch horror movies all day?
Halloween's on a Monday this year. I'll be in Salem this year on Halloween, honestly, so. Are
you going to wear your spooky shirt in Salem?
You gotta wear the spooky shirt in Salem.
I didn't think about it until right now, but I guess I have to. This is only tangentially related to what we're actually covering today.
It's not, because this is the most Halloween thing we could have covered, I think.
Yeah, we honestly, for the last couple of years, we've been running out of Halloween things, and then at BroadwayCon, literally just threw upon us this wonderful, wonderful thing.
Do we tell the BroadwayCon story now or during the episode?
We do it during the episode, but in case you haven't figured it out based on none of the hints we've given, because we haven't given hints. This week,
unless you're watching the video.
Oh, unless you're watching the video, you get to see me and the vibe and the posters and the merch and my t-shirt. This week, we are covering Goosebumps the Musical, The Phantom of the Auditorium. Cue the music, Brie.
Do you survive on screams? Deadly gnomes and dreams?
Head for a house that seems it might be haunted.
Do you begin to burst when cameras might be cursed?
When vampires start to thirst, are you undaunted?
Does a demon like dummy make you scream into light? Then follow if you dare, but all who do beware, for you may find a scare that fills your soul with fright and gives you goosebumps in the night.
Goosebumps the Musical, The Phantom of the Auditorium, is a musical written by Danny Abash, with music and lyrics by John McClay and Danny Abash. The musical was co-commissioned by First Stage Children's Theatre and Oregon's Children's Theatre, and received simultaneous world premiere productions in fall of 2016 at the Todd Ware Theatre in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and the Newmark Theatre in Portland, Oregon. The Wisconsin production, directed by Knifer Clark, ran from October 14th to November 13th, 2016. The Oregon production, directed by Stan Foote, ran from October 22nd to November 20th, 2016. Both productions were well received by local reviewers, and it was also performed at the Roanoke Children's Theatre in Roanoke, Virginia, as the first show of their 2017-2018 season. The musical has since been produced at theaters throughout the country, and a cast album has been released. The plot of Goosebumps the Musical, The Phantom of the Auditorium is Brooke and Zeke are thrilled to be starring in a mysterious show called The Phantom, and not the least bit frightened by the old legend that the play is cursed. But when the strange, spooky messages start appearing and a masked menace starts disrupting rehearsals, they begin to wonder, what if there really is a ghost haunting their school? Determined to stop the show, prepare to get goosebumps as they race to solve the mystery in this thrilling and chilling new musical based on the classic series by R.L. Stine, Jack Black himself. Andrew, why don't you tell the BroadwayCon story? And then I actually want Bree to describe the plot, because Bree joined us to listen to this, and that's fantastic. Because she is unbiased, because she did not meet the writer and composer the way we did.
We are completely tainted, absolutely bought off.
Yeah, I mean, look at me. I look like I am a promotional image for
Jess
this
is
show.
actually dressed He has 2 posters of this up. He has a T-shirt on. He has the tote bag. He is
The only thing I don't have on is the
absolutely
mask
bought
they
off.
gave me.
Well, go get it.
I actually use it, so no.
And you know, I have like $200,000 off on the side here, so I am paid off as well.
We all got what was important to us. Tell the BroadwayCon story, Andrew.
Yeah, so at BroadwayCon, which if you listen to our BroadwayCon episode, I think we already told some of this story, but just to get right into it, we were about to leave BroadwayCon. This was like we were
day.
pretty much done. We were just walking around like, did we miss anything? And we did. We missed the Goosebumps booth. We walked over there. We met the I believe it was the composer and the lyricist were both there. And we talked to them for a little bit.
They're really cool. Like sincerely
really cool.
very cool.
And they just gave us a ton of free stuff. Which we got posters, we got T-shirts, and they just kept handing us stuff, and I was like, okay.
And it wasn't just like one per person. We got like 2 or 3. Like we left with half of their booth.
Yeah, I mean, this was when BroadwayCon was about to be over, so maybe they were just trying to get rid of some of the extra stuff, but
we got a nice picture with them. We got a nice picture with them. And I'm sure that'll be attached somewhere and we'll post it along with our episode. But they were very nice individuals. And when we did that, I also promised we would cover it on our show this Halloween. And more full disclosure, we were supposed to have the wonderful Pushing Up Roses on this episode with us, who is the Goosebumps aficionado. Sadly, she could not make it, so we are doing this alone, and she'll be on in November. So, Bree, describe for us the plot of Goosebumps the Musical.
Okay. So I feel like your plot or your description at the beginning was real good. So I feel like I'm just going to butcher this. So you have Brooke and Zeke, who are best friends, and they love everything spooky. And then Miss Walker announces that there is going to that their play this year at school is going to be a spooky play. It's going to be a scary play. It's The Phantom. And Brooke and
Not
Zeke
to be confused with the Phantom of the Opera, which I guess still exists in this world.
I don't think they could call it the Phantom of the Opera.
I mean, the Phantom of the Opera is in the public domain, so you could do whatever they wanted.
Yes, but also no. I mean, come on.
I mean, we can read between the lines of what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, keep going.
Okay. It's their take on The Phantom. And so Brooke and Zeke are stoked. They're going to try out to be the lead roles in the play. They get it. There is a whole legend behind performing this play. Am I correct here?
Yeah.
Like if you perform,
It's at this particular school, isn't
okay,
it?
it's the particular school, or is it when you perform the play?
It's when this school performs the play.
Yeah, when they tried to do it the first time. So I guess they commissioned it for this school, and they're the only
This
ones
play
that
is
tried it.
apparently like 100 years old because they were performing it back in
1922.
1920.
Okay,
Yeah.
right.
That doesn't
all right,
sound that
yeah.
old anymore, sadly.
Okay, so there's a legend about this play. They're going to perform it anyway. Then all of a sudden, a new kid shows up at school. His name's Brian. And Brooke kind of has a thing for Brian. Brian kind of has a thing for Brooke. And then all of a sudden, some like mysterious stuff is going on. There's a night janitor that's actually, not really a night janitor. Well, there's a night janitor that doesn't work at the school, is what I'm told. And then Brian's
It's one of those hired out janitors that comes in to clean up at night.
Guys, it's Beetlejuice. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I mean that was the big selling point, and he does have all the spookiest songs.
Yes.
So.
Someone that all 3 of us have been in the room with at different occasions, strangely enough.
Then some spooky stuff starts to go down at school. Someone's interrupting play practice. There is paint somewhere. I was eating chili and listening to this, so
All right, we need the
may have
fan
missed
art
some
of
things.
Bree listening to Goosebumps the Musical while eating chili. Get on it, kids.
Someone is framing Zeke. Mind you, Zeke is the Phantom. Brooke is Esmeralda in this in the play. They did get the leading roles.
Because Hunchback and Phantom are the same thing, right?
Yes. It's just a name. Come on.
Sure.
And then they get to the play, they do the play, it's fantastic, but it gets changed up. It's because the actual Phantom performed that evening. His soul is set free from the school. And in the end, it was Brian who was the Phantom.
Now, it's not the actual Phantom. It's the kid in 1920 that was going to play the
ghost.
Phantom that died.
Thank you. Yes. I skipped that
part. The actual
part.
Phantom, I believe, is still fictional, even in this story.
Yeah,
Yes.
The twist is the ghost was the ghost of the kid from the 1920s that really wanted to play the Phantom, but died.
Andrew, you would have done much better at this.
Well, Andrew, we've kind of come to this in three different ways. Andrew watched the Goosebumps episode about this as well on top of the album.
Yeah. Thanks for making me watch that, Jess.
Oh, no.
Real fucking masterpiece.
I will say, I did bring it up to the gentleman who wrote this when we saw him at BroadwayCon, and they implied that they did not appreciate the direction that one went in, and they went into
I feel like they said
one.
something about like that they really respect the art form and like, like they did different stuff with this. Like they wanted to go in a different direction with the story. So.
That was their very kind way of saying wasn't a big fan of what they did.
That episode sucked.
Is that your more diplomatic way of saying it, Andrew?
I mean, honestly, it's just the pacing is horrendous. The acting is horrendous. And like it everything goes so fast. Like I couldn't even, the reveal at the end that was supposed to be like the big thing. Like I didn't even remember the kid's name, so I didn't catch the reveal. Because everything is like boom, 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 boom. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
And then, Andrew, we know you love child actors. They're your favorite in the world. Your favorite musical is Annie for this reason.
I've never said anything about how we should keep children locked in the basement until they're like 15. Never.
Never. You said some things about dogs early on in our podcast, but never that about children.
I'm a sane, normal person with good morals, so I wouldn't say stuff like that.
You are a stable genius. So my history with this is I actually read the original novel when I was in elementary school because I think we can all figure out the reason why I picked this one. I was like, I'm going to read this one. It's the only R.L. Stine book I ever read. And I was like, it's kind of like Phantom of the Opera. Then I read it. I'm like, it's nothing like Phantom of the Opera. This is not my thing.
I mean, it's a little bit like Phantom of the Opera.
It is, but
if the book is anything like the episode in the musical, it's like a tiny bit. It's like a little bit like it.
Yeah, it's the musical does a very good job of translating the story. Much better than that TV episode, which is
the night janitor is like the creepy guy that lives in the basement.
Yes,
and the Phantom is the Phantom, except for he's actually dead this time.
He's a little boy. He's a spooky little boy.
Yeah. But I mean, there's kind of there's something there. You know, there's some sort of Phantom of the Opera stuff going on.
Yeah, there's some opera-y stuff going on. I really enjoyed listening to this show. Sincerely, I had a good time. I really enjoyed this. I'm not just saying that because I'm decked out in merch they gave me. I do literally feel like those shills from like when they get invited to the Lucasfilm premieres and they're like, Star Wars.
Very cool.
Yeah, very cool. The Rise of Skywalker was the best movie ever. It was a little bumpy, but I had a great time. No, I really enjoyed this. And I feel like we've developed enough clout at this point where we're going to say what we think no matter what.
Yeah, I'll say wherever the money takes me.
I didn't get a bunch of merch. And I really enjoyed it. I think it was one of the best concept albums we've listened to.
So better than Bridgerton.
Absolutely.
Okay, why?
I mean, after the first song, I immediately was like, oh, I love the casting of the voices. I can tell them apart. Whereas like in the Bridgerton, they were like, it was all like one or two girls singing and doing all these different parts. And it was really hard to differentiate who was who. Whereas this, I felt like they all had a unique voice and it all blended together very well.
Wouldn't it be really, really funny if R.L. Stine sued them in the same way?
I feel like they have the actual rights, don't they?
Oh, they must.
They use the real logo.
Yeah, they must have.
And
and I feel like R.L. Stine.
Principal Stein is a funny.
Yes, that's a funny little thing. It's a very Scream choice.
Yeah, I mean the whole thing is very tongue in cheek, like kind of.
Yeah, it's not meant to be like this dark and.
I assume this is written to be performed by like high schools and middle schools, right?
It's ideal for that. I agree.
So
it was commissioned by schools. And this is like the one commissioned work I've really listened to, and I'm like, oh, I'm thoroughly enjoying this. I know you enjoyed Joseph, Andrew, so maybe you want to argue that one, but I think this is like one of the few commissioned pieces I really, really enjoyed.
Joseph is on a so bad it's good level, whereas this is like maybe on the scale of actually good.
Yeah, it had a goal it set out to do.
Not like phenomenal or anything, but like
I don't think it's trying to be phenomenal. I think it's trying to make something for kids to put on that's a little spooky, but it's in their wheelhouse.
I think the only thing I find a little weird about it is that the like opening night and performance are all instrumental segments, which I guess I don't know what is going on in those parts, like what is supposed to be happening there, but
well, did you not read the in-depth summary on the Wikipedia page?
No, I didn't do that, Jess. Did you?
Yeah, I did. I was immediately
okay. Well, enlighten us, Jess.
No, it's exactly what you think. And they just put on the show, and there's like a little dancing going on, and like all of that. But I was immediately shocked at how long the Wikipedia entry for the plot of Goosebumps the Musical, The Phantom of the Auditorium was.
You gotta be in depth.
I guess. Like, what we're covering next week, we can barely find anything on, but this, to its credit, the marketers are doing a very good job with it. Speaking of the marketing, this isn't just like cool for a Goosebumps show. I think it's like actually properly cool. It's hitting the zeitgeist, especially in like the TikToker scene or all that. Last year, it was like one of the best, most downloaded albums on Spotify as far as musical theater goes. And next year, it'll be up for the Grammy. Could it be the next Bridgerton musical?
Yeah, I don't really know. I do think the cast performs this very well. They got a great cast for it. Obviously, Alex Brightman is great in a lot of stuff, but everybody else did really good too, even if I didn't fully recognize everyone. Is there any other like big stars?
Yeah,
in this?
Will Rowland from Dear Evan Hansen. He was the what's his name? The meme boy from Dear Evan Hansen. Not Connor, the other one.
The friend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was also the lead in Be More Chill.
Yeah, you should have opened with that.
My bad. We bumped into him at BroadwayCon, and he was obviously in a hurry to get somewhere else. And I remember him wearing a blazer.
Okay.
Yep, that's
probably had more important things to do than talk to us.
Yeah, probably was gonna go talk to other podcasters. Noah Galvin, who I feel like is in like some bigger things. Oh, he was in Booksmart. He was in that movie as George. He's a pretty good big actor.
You know who his boyfriend is?
Who's his boyfriend?
Your favorite person in the whole wide world?
I forget. Ben Platt?
Ben Platt. Yeah.
That makes sense. Everyone
Couldn't
in
get
this
Ben Platt in
show,
this.
well, like, you know what? At least Ben Platt isn't in it. I don't actually dislike Ben Platt. Like, I actually dislike James Corden. Ben Platt is fine. He's just wrong for Evan Hansen in the movie. Like, there's a Parade revival coming out in November. I think he's a great choice for that, sincerely.
James Corden would be a little better in that role, though, I think.
No.
Was he just
James
banned from
Corden,
Twitter?
we don't deserve his talent, is the thing.
No, he was banned from like a really fancy restaurant for treating everyone like trash, and it's one of many stories of James Corden being the worst human being alive.
I feel like you can tell immediately by looking at him that he would be horrible to wait staff.
Did you hear the story about like him coming onto a plane and sitting next to a woman or a baby, and you think, oh no, a celebrity hissy fit's gonna happen, and he just puts his headphones on and just tunes it out, and then when the time comes to get off the plane, she goes for the bags, and he said, Christ, let me hold the baby if you're getting our bags, and then you realize that was his wife and child.
What? You just completely ignore them for the entire flight?
Just let her deal with the crying baby the entire time.
Incredible.
Stand-up guy, this James Corden. No one has anything but great things to say about him.
All right, we got to go back to Goosebumps.
We got to get back to the Goosebumps. Did you watch the Goosebumps show at all as a kid, Andrew or Bree?
No, not even like a little bit. I remember being scared of the haunted mass tape, though.
Just the tape. What about you, Bree?
I feel like I did, but it scared me.
Was it really that scary?
I think when you were,
everything is scary.
Yeah, when you're
a child.
little. Let's see. It launched in 1995, so the year I was born. Yeah. So, at this point, like, I would have been 3 or 4 when they were probably playing it or making new seasons.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think I was probably scared of it when it was on.
don't know. I've just never found it that scary. Maybe it's just like, because fictional things like an idea of a talking puppet never really freaked me out, but the idea of cancer or real serial killers fucked with me. Like, I could definitely tell the difference between reality and things that could plausibly happen in fiction. So the things that would happen in Goosebumps didn't really mess with me much.
Spider-Man 2 scared me. So.
Which part?
Yeah. Was it the arms? Was it the arm part? I mean, there's that one scene that they film like Evil Dead. So
Yeah.
It was, oh God, it was Dr. What is
Doc
his
Ock?
name? Yes, he scared the shit out of me. I thought he was going to come down my hallway and...
But he was.
there's the one scene in the hospital that is like pretty scary.
But come on, he's so hot. He is very hot in that movie.
I need
Was
to
it
look this up.
Alfred Molina?
Alfred Molina,
like
the open shirt kind of dad bod vibe. He looks good in that movie.
Maybe I was so scared of him. Let me look.
Because you were turned on by him. Oh my God,
I
he's so
still
hot.
love the clip of Doc Ock singing.
If I were a rich man.
Yeah.
Because he was
We
about
have
to.
different tastes in men.
Maybe, Brie. Maybe.
I don't think he looks good, but maybe because I'm scared of him.
Yeah. He was good in that movie. Back to Goosebumps though. Yeah, like the books in the schools and all that were everywhere. Like there was always that one kid that would only read the Goosebumps books, and they thought that made him edgy, but it just made you scared of him.
The theme song for the show is really good. I think that's like an actual classic Halloween song for
I
me.
agree. I'm a little like they evoke the theme a little bit in style, but they don't really play the theme ever in this musical.
You can almost hear the theme in the Goosebumps song that they do, but it's not quite there. Like it's you can tell that they're trying to play the notes, but like they can't do the rhythm of it.
Right. Speaking of just the quality of this album, I am so grateful that they got like professional Broadway caliber performers to do this. I'm just imagining,
And not children.
Yeah, the alternative where it's just kids doing this.
Kids bop. Goosebumps, kids bop.
Goosebumps, goosebumps.
But you know that's what it will sound like if you ever see it live, because that's who's going to be performing it.
Yeah, but it'll have a charm to it if it's live. It's the Music Man syndrome of that's my Davy up there.
Yeah. No, I mean, the numbers, it's almost funny just listening to these actors like sing these kind of goofy songs that are like lyrically obviously for children, and it's kind of funny listening to them sing that.
Like what
singing.
specifically?
Like the Goosebumps song, A Super Scary Play. That one is like, I mean, you get to hear Broadway actors say super scary like a lot of times.
I guess.
I don't know.
I didn't mind that. That didn't really distract me much because I felt like in the tone of the Goosebumps. And it was like I got to see a Goosebumps story without the fucking Canadian accents or bad ADR. And it was great.
Can we talk, I guess, briefly about the episode a little more?
Yeah.
Did you watch the episode?
I did watch the episode. I know you probably got a lot to say there. Why don't you start?
Just holy shit. They like launch you into it. And immediately it's like cutting away every like 2 seconds to what we're supposed to think is the Phantom POV, or like this girl's dream that she had about the Phantom. And it's just they can't stop. It's just non-stop. Go. There's one scene where there's like a jump scare from behind the mirror, immediately followed by another jump scare when the mirror gets closed. And it's like You can't do 2 jump scares in a row immediately following each other. Like, I don't know. The pacing to me was just so abysmal that I couldn't even watch the thing.
It was very difficult to digest. And this wasn't my first time watching it because I watched it when I was younger and I'm like, this ain't good. It does have weird pacing, and the thing is, like, almost every scene is ADR'd, and maybe it's just because I just watched this for the first time. It reminded me of Psycho Gorman, and I watched those two things basically back to back, where the ADR really helps that movie and it's a real surreal feel. Or here it made it more surreal in a way that makes me uncomfortable, like this was leaked footage or something.
It just feels cheap and unfinished.
Yes.
Like the whole thing. And I feel like there's never a part, not that I would be like genuinely scared, but there's never a part that I'm even like, oh, this might be like kind of scary for kids or something. Like, none of it feels scary. Unless you're just like a child who is scared by the thought of being scared, which maybe that is a thing, but...
I'm so scared of the idea that something might scare me.
Yeah, like
isn't that the
if that's-
paranormal activity thing?
Kinda, isn't it? Like, it's that the anticipation of a door shutting. Oh no, there was a bang at the door.
Good reference. Good reference. So I don't think Goosebumps as a show is really digestible in that way. Like, you know, the best form to digest an episode of Goosebumps? One of Pushing Up Roses' videos, because I've watched more of them than I ever will any episode of Goosebumps, or a stage musical concept recording.
Yeah, well, with that, I'd like to hear what people think of this album.
It's time to compare our opinions to those of the New York theater critics or whoever the fuck is on the internet. It's time for previews!
It's time for previews. It's time for previews.
This is from The Show Report, a look beyond the playbill. Goosebumps the Musical, Phantom of the Auditorium, Chance Theater. Please, no screaming inside the theater. Remember back in elementary school when you were so eager you were almost shivering, waiting for the teacher to hand you the latest Goosebumps horror adventure you'd ordered from Scholastic Publishing? Of course you had other books to peruse, your Volcanoes and Earthquakes books, Somewhat Exciting, Charlotte's Web, and that yawner science encyclopedia, explaining how Saturn got its rings. But you just couldn't wait for the Jims to begin. To run from a murderous clown, a howling werewolf, an abominable snowman, armies of chomping lawn gnomes, jack-o'-lantern-headed killers, or spine-tingling scarecrows come to life. All right, that was a very long-winded introduction. Stepping right off that script, Goosebumps the Musical opened on October 6th at the Chance Theater, Anaheim's official resident theater company, just in time for the Halloween season. Based on the 24th book in the series, the action mostly takes place in a middle school theater focused around a ghostly phantom that is one of the author's least gruesome villains and dials down the fear factor substantially for younger theater goers. Written without having the advantage of a visible monstrosity, the story rather relies on the reader's emotional deep inner fear and anxiety.
Is this a review of the book?
No, it's a review of the show. But it takes a minute. They're like just describing the plot. Give me an opinion. They give
There's
it an
no opinion here.
They just go through the entire plot. The company's numbers add suspense and intrigue to the ambience with enthusiastic and broadly staged choreography. Brian Weigel, playing a student in the ensemble, helps round out the excellent cast in supportive scenes and dances. Particularly the memorable songs include The Story of the Phantom, performed by Miss Abelies and the ensemble, My Story by the Phantom, and the title song Goosebumps by the company. 8 out of 10.
They had a lot to say, but they didn't know how to word it, so they just cut it all out.
I don't mean to frame this poorly, but they just described the plot and then said, hey, everyone tried their best.
There were songs, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. 8 out of 10.
We should do that, Andrew. That should be like one episode where we just don't even give an opinion. We just start listing plot details.
I feel like we've done that before, and it wasn't good.
I feel like that must have been an early episode if we did do that.
Yeah. Well, that's...
I don't know if I can disagree with
the
that.
Caliber of reviews?
Bree, I sent you one. What do we got there?
The current show at the Coterie Theater bounces along with the springy vitality of its energetic cast and a playfully exciting story. Callie Rodina as Brooke and Jacob Vivalli as Zeke channel the starry-eyed teenagers. Think High School Musical.
I don't think High School... Like, when I listen to this, I don't think High School Musical.
I wonder if is maybe just this production.
Maybe, but it reminds me of Ben Brantley's review of 13, where he immediately compared it to high school. Like, if a musical takes place in high school, do we have nothing else? Do we have nothing else to compare it to?
Yeah, I mean, High School Musical, because it's in a high school and it's a musical, so High School Musical, duh. Come on, Jess.
It just doesn't. It's
get with it.
Superficially, I get it, but also, I guess.
Yeah, that's the best description. Superficial. That's all they have.
Yeah, I guess. What else we got, Bree?
I'm trying to skip down because otherwise I would just be telling you about high schoolers from Kansas City.
They call the story predictable.
Did they?
I mean,
second to last paragraph.
It kind of is predictable. I mean, it's Phantom of the Opera in a lot of ways.
I mean, it's not like the Phantom of the Opera original novel is a mystery, and the twist is, oh no, it's just a guy. That's the mystery solved. Oh, it's not a ghost, just a guy.
They also say this show is entertaining from start to finish and brings an element of joyful fun to the stage.
It's a real Ben Brantley review there.
I feel like it is a little predictable. Like I knew that it was. I knew that it was going to be a real ghost immediately going in, and I didn't read this before or anything.
And I knew it was Brian.
I mean, that's not really the composers and scriptwriters' fault. That's R.L. Stein's fault. So why don't you hang him?
R.L. Stein writes children's books, which they're going to be predictable a lot of times. Kids are dumb.
Put that on the poster.
Put that on the poster. Kids are stupid. They'll listen to anything.
That's not true. And the worst part is I might say that for next week's topic. Like that might actually be my review for next week's episode.
Oh no. Okay. Well, I mean, honestly, these reviews are of high school productions, and I feel a little bad even talking about it.
Yeah, I mean. That's kind of the hard thing about this. Like, remember when we did the Cruise
How come nobody
musical?
reviews albums? You know, why does no one review the album?
Well, we do have on the Goosebumps the Musical website a series of album reviews. If you'd like me to hear some bits of that,
sure.
This is from Nick Wakeham from Musical Theater Review. From the very start of this album, I was hooked. It is infectious, and beware, some of the tracks can become earworms. You'll be singing them in your head and wondering where they came from. I could dissect the story and characters and tell you how wonderful they are, but I would prefer you purchase the album and find that out for yourself.
Listener, beware. You're in for a scare.
Okay, I have one from Amazon.
Well, okay. Yes, give it to me. Give it to us, Brie.
It's
excellent quality.
The title says, I actually got goosebumps listening to this.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. I mean, I do think this is just a good review, but it says, I first heard Goosebumps the Musical streaming online, but wanted to buy the CD hoping that there would be more information about the show, the lyrics, the musicians, the actors. Was that really R.L. Stein himself playing the principal, etc.? Which there is in abundance. When I played it on my CD sound system, I was blown away by how much lush and rich the orchestrations are. The music is gorgeous, the writing's snappy and clever, and the performances are top notch.
Four people found this
helpful. Yeah.
You know what? I agree with all these reviews.
Yeah.
I can't really disagree. I think they're effective. We do have tweets, though, if you'd like me to read some of them.
Sure.
Man, we are digging in deep for these reviews. Usually we're out of the New York Times or something, and this time we're scrounging through the garbage, trying to find a review.
Someone named Will Roland Lover said, the Goosebumps musical soundtrack is gonna be on repeat for eternity. Phantom of the Auditorium on Broadway, when?
Maybe. I kind of doubt it, but I feel like I would watch it. I think it'd be funny.
I think it would actually be better than a lot of things on Broadway, to be honest. Hey, Broadway, the Goosebumps musical album actually slaps. And that is from Gracie Lyera.
Where's all the haters at?
I know. This feels like unanimous love and praise.
I mean, there was no 1 stars on Amazon.
Maybe this is just something that's hard to hate. And I don't disagree with that. I think it's really, really fun.
It's pretty well made, and it's just like a fun thing to listen to. I mean, yeah. It's not like amazing, but I don't think I'd have anything super negative to say.
No, I don't think there's really anything negative you could say. And that's also the problem with things that are just kind of good is you have very little to say except from, hey, it's good for what it's doing. I'd say it's a 10 on all fronts because of how effective it is.
Oh, look at Reddit. I'm not going to say their name, but it says, I like the opening number, but that's about it.
Oh, we got a hater.
One hater. And you know what? That's fine.
That's from
honestly,
Puss Mobile 6900.
What was that name?
Puss Mobile 6900.
Puss Mobile 6900. Jesus Christ.
I feel like the opening number was one of my less enjoyable ones.
I disagree. I love that opening.
I
think it's fine.
It's stuck in my head.
Liked.
You'll find it becoming an earworm before you know it.
I liked Alex Brightman's songs, and I liked when the Phantom came out and did his number. Mm-hmm. I thought that was really good.
Well, you're getting ahead of us, Andrew, but why don't we take a little break and then we'll talk about some songs.
Yeah.
All right. Hey guys, sorry to interrupt you in the middle of the show, but we've got a shill at you! Today's show is brought to you by the extremely kind donations by our donors over at Patreon. Andrew, why don't you tell us a little bit about Patreon and who's supporting us over there?
Sure. Patreon's where you can go if you'd like to give us money because you love us, and also we give you more content. So that's probably the real reason you would do that. We have commentaries over there. We have extra podcasts. You get access to the videos.
And you might
of
even
our
be able to watch
episodes.
us live as we record it. We're trying that out new, and it seems
If
like
you
people are
want
doing
to,
it.
which sometimes we are a bit sloppy and messy live, but it can be fun anyways.
Yo, don't worry, Andrew. We're about to talk about something sloppy and messy after this.
All right. Our current patrons
I got
are...
that, Andrew. I got that. Hold on.
You told me to do it.
I know. I got that, Andrew.
You said tell them about Patreon and who our current patrons are.
Yeah. Fuck what I said. Our current patrons are Melissa Goldman, Danielle Rennick, Jess Stampede, Ewan Cassidy, Brent Black, Nathaniel Stacey Coombe, Joseph Evan Green, Mary Lou Choquette, Jean Vanals, Russ Walker, Musical Hell, Emily Gracie, Kyle Summers, Janae C, Scoot and the Technicolor Dreamcode, Liz Lim, Allison Stellar, Nothing is Certain Except Beth and Taxis, Thespian, Ren Cohen, Raphael Martinez Salaz, Jessica T, Mitchell Young, Chai Teacup, Katie McDonough, Timothy Keys, Chris Marcotte, Mimu, Kiji Marie Anastasio, Layla, RJ Norija, Charlie B, Bjorn Hermans, Erica S, Toriana Frazier, Sammy, The Most Lopez, Lyanna Morton, Angela, Kaylee Blazier, Birdman69, Cinemageddon Reviews, Villainous Miss, Sophiana Ali, The Omega Geek, Paige Pearson, Maddie Wargle, Elisa Erdman, Anna Loskatova, Cheska Veray, Sarah Den Blakier, Jess Gray, Evan Ball, Zachary Torres, Spencer Helmgear, Gathering Party Before Venturing Forth, Avalie Long, and Nicholas Bates. They all give us intellectual financial support that helps us keep the lights on here at Musicals with Cheese. If you would like to join them in supporting us, get tons of fun perks such as Patreon-only commentaries, our episodes a day earlier, even earlier, live feeds of our podcast as we record them, and more. Come join us over at Patreon. And we're going to have, right here in the middle, a second Bree-View segment. Bree, play it faster.
It's time for previews. It's time for previews.
And Andrew, I'm going to ask you to read this review that we just got. And I think it's a good one.
Yeah, sure. This one is called I Wanted to Like It. It looks like it gave us 0 stars out of 5.
They gave us 1 star.
Okay.
And this is from, Gray Nicticorix.
Okay. The rapport between the hosts is nice and feels genuine.
We aren't making
Wow,
this up.
that earned us the 1 star, baby.
We got it.
But I simply cannot get past the aggravating lack of research.
Fair.
Yeah, okay. Let me use the last episode I listened to as an example. Bat Boy. Oh no. Didn't we have Brent on
We
for
had
this
Brent
one?
on, and he knows the show beginning to. Part of me wishes I had Brent here right now to hear this.
Yeah. They start off by recounting the plot with multiple errors, i.e. Dr. Parker doesn't reveal Bat Boy's parentage, Meredith does, and it doesn't happen in the last scene, it happens 2 scenes earlier.
Oh my
These
god.
Basic errors that could be avoided by looking at Wikipedia. The host seems to think it is a funny bit to recount the plot of each show from memory, which it is.
Yes, it is.
But it's not only frustrating to listen to all the errors, it's disrespectful to the shows being reviewed. I don't care. Somebody eventually will recount my life from memory, and it's going to be disrespectful to me. And
It'll
I'm just
probably
gonna
be
have
me
to
and
deal with
Bree.
that. I'm just going to have to deal with that, you know?
You know
Like,
what? I'd prefer
life
if people
sucks.
recount my life incorrectly. It'll probably be better.
The errors often make the shows sound worse than they actually are. Okay.
Is he defending the
They're-
incest, subplot musical about a bat boy that fucks his sister?
We had someone on our episode defending it, didn't we?
Yeah, Brent was. It's one
We
of
had
his
Brent.
favorite musicals of all time.
Yeah, so I don't know. What do you want to do? Their main critique in the Bat Boy episode is about how the twist in the end is not foreshadowed. Again, this is full of errors. I don't even remember this episode, I'll be honest with you.
It was last Halloween. Who can remember a year ago?
They say Dr. Parker has no reaction to seeing Bat Boy besides disgust, but he has a huge reaction. There's a dramatic music sting, thunder. Parker says, "How did you get there?" And with clear recognition and then has to chug alcohol from his flask to recover from the shock.
Have you thought that maybe it was just your version of the show and that there are many different interpretations of this show over the 20 years it's been out?
I mean, yeah. The hosts say Meredith and Parker never acknowledge the situation when they're alone, but the first thing Parker says when they're alone is, "You know what this is, don't you?" Which Meredith acknowledges. My point in nitpicking this episode is that these kind of mistakes are present across many episodes. The hosts need to give these shows the respect of at least summarizing them accurately and not basing their critiques on faulty memory. In many cases, it seems as though neither of the hosts have watched the show they're speaking about recently and are just there to goof around, which, we watch the show like a day before most of the time.
Yeah.
Or that day, and yes, we are just here to goof around.
Yeah, we're here to have fun and make an entertaining show. We're not here to stroke your specific hyperfixation at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know. We get a lot of these critiques, and it's always the same thing, like this one particular show that they didn't like, and then look at all the stuff that they got wrong. How good, if they didn't get all this stuff wrong, they would have liked it. And it's like, okay, whatever.
I feel indifferent about Bat Boy in every single conceivable way. Like, I have no emotion toward it aside from,
I don't even
what are
feel
you
like
doing,
I was that
Bat
negative
Bro?
about Bat Boy.
I don't think either of us were, but apparently we got minute details
and Brent
wrong.
was like overwhelmingly positive
Brent
about
had
it.
nothing but nice things to say about it, sincerely. And I
think some people just want us to come on here and jerk every show off like as much as possible. So let's get back to jerking off Goosebumps.
yeah,
honestly.
let's go. I'm gonna give it a reach around everything.
Do you seek out the spark of danger in the dark when shadows cold and stark are all around you?
Do you thrive on the thrill of shrieks so loud and shrill as twists and turns and chilling scares astound you?
Do you crave tales of creatures that recoil from the light?
Then follow if you dare, let all who do beware, for you may find a snare that fills your soul with fright and gives you goosebumps in the night.
So the Goosebumps opening number.
I love it.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
I think it is pretty good. I love the different voices being used.
I like the build to it.
I would agree. I think it has
You know
a
what it
great
kinda-
build, great energy.
It kind of feels like they're trying to set it up where there's going to be more Goosebumps the musicals, and then this is going to be the opening number for all of them.
I'd be happy with that, sincerely.
Agreed.
Like,
Because like this doesn't actually relate to the story in any real way. It's just a theme song for Goosebumps. Am I wrong?
I mean, yes, but we all talked about how much we love the Goosebumps theme song, right?
Yep.
I think I like this better than the Goosebumps theme song. I'm gonna be that guy.
Well, I mean, the Goosebumps theme song is like 30 seconds long. This is like 4 minutes.
I will say it was a decently long number.
Yeah.
This one is 3 minutes and 55 seconds.
I was listening to it. I was like, oh, it's still going. But I liked it.
I agree with you completely. I also really like the rhymes in it. I think that they're fun rhymes. Like, I like not having to take a show seriously, so I can appreciate goofy rhymes, like rhyming haunted toaster with roller coaster. I love it. Is death something that you fear, or is there something in the mirror? Like, come on.
That feels like the type of forced rhyme that you wouldn't like.
I know, but the fact that it's in this and in this specific setting, I fucking loved it.
Jess, how much cash did they pay you? Jess,
There's always money in the pumpkin.
always money in the pumpkin.
No, I don't mind it here because it's very clear this isn't supposed to be taken super duper seriously. It's like how I don't mind some of the slant rhymes and Little Shop of Horrors because I know the exact kind of tone that show is going for.
A pretty similar tone to this one, honestly.
Honestly, I think this would be a good companion piece, like for a night out, like you go to a matinee of a Little Shop and then you go to a nighttime performance of Goosebumps. You're going to have a good day, a good spooky day. And honestly, there's not enough spooky musicals out there. So I'm very grateful that this one exists, and not only just exists, but is good. And kids would love doing it. And I honestly think having kids do it is effective and a good use of time and school energy.
It seems from all of our Halloween stuff that we have done over the years, there's like 2 different types or 3 different types of horror musicals. There's horror comedy musicals, which I would put this in with like Little Shop. There's actually good horror musicals like Sweeney Todd, and that's the only one. There is no other ones. And then there's like Repo the Genetic Opera and The Devil's Carnival that are just complete shit.
Well, why don't we take a look at what we've covered for Halloween past? So this year we've covered Over the Garden Wall and Notre Dame de Paris and The Devil's Carnival, right?
Yep. Over the Garden Wall is not actually a musical, so I don't think we can count that
out. Last year, we kind of forgoed a usual Halloween thing because we had something much bigger happen that month, which was the Dear Evan Hansen movie. But we covered Bat Boy with Brent and Little Shop of Horrors. We revisited that.
Yep. And I feel like Bat Boy is in that Repo category, but maybe one of the better ones of that.
Okay. And then
overly dark, it has all that incest stuff going on, and it's like kind of just fucked. I don't understand why they need to do that.
Who's laughing at that show? I mean, Brent, I love you with all of my heart, sincerely. I don't get it.
Brent gets it.
Brent gets it. We're the dumb ones. And then the October before that, which I think was our first Halloween with Brie, we did Mean Girls, Razia's Shadow, Heathers, and Repo, and Dracula, and the Addams Family.
Heathers, I think, gets to go into the actually good category with Sweeney Todd.
What about Addams Family? Where's that fit?
Addams Family is a horror comedy thing.
Yeah, okay. Razia's Shadow isn't a real musical. Mean Girls.
Razia's Shadow is not a real musical, but I do remember kind of liking that. I thought it was like weird.
It was weird. I agree. Mean Girls, we won by technicality because there's a Halloween scene in it.
Yeah.
That doesn't count.
I listened to that song the other day.
The sexy song?
Yeah. I can't be who I wanna be. It's sexy.
Maybe that show's not that. No, that show's bad.
Yeah.
And then in 2019, we covered American Psycho, Jekyll and Hyde, and Beetlejuice. And then our first year, we did Carrie.
Yeah. Beetlejuice goes into the horror comedy. Jekyll and Hyde, and what was the other one?
Oh God, it was American Psycho.
American Psycho. Oh my God. Yeah, those both go in the bad category.
And Carrie.
Not good. Carrie, I think, also has to go in the not good. But
really?
Also, I would put that one more towards the top of not good.
I'd put that one in the actually good, but in low actually good.
Okay, you put it in actually good, but like bad actually good?
The lowest tier of actually good, because I think it is effective as what it's doing, and could be actually good with a few more revisions.
I think there's a problem, and it's that people musical writers don't think that you can be scary and sing at the same time.
I fundamentally disagree, and Sondheim proved that, like, all the way.
I know. I also disagree, but, like, why else do they do shit like make all of the horror stuff, like, silly? Like, I don't understand.
I mean, European musicals tend to get it. Like, Tons de Vampire was a great horror comedy that leaned more on the horror than the comedy.
Yeah, it's Broadway. It's always Broadway, which is why Goosebumps will never make it to Broadway.
It's too good for Broadway, sincerely.
All right, let's go. Next song.
What's our next song, Andrew? Let's chat about... I want to talk about The Legend, which sums up the entire backstory that we need to know from Miss Walker and Tina.
The legend begins at this very school 7 years ago. Legend has it that there once was a boy who found a script in the basement below. The play was called The Phantom. It was the scariest of shows. Is that how it started? No one knows. But that's how the legend goes.
We didn't even talk about Tina much, who's just kind of this. She's made it into every adaptation, but she's just kind of this mean kid.
She's the understudy, right?
Yeah, for Brooke.
Yeah.
Bree, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, I didn't even realize Tina was in this song until I was looking at the list of songs. I'll wait till we get there. I really liked this song though.
Yeah. I like a good story song. Like, part of the reason why I love Tarrytown so much, and I like the song I keep returning to, is The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, where Jeremy Jordan just recounts all of Sleepy Hollow. Like, that is a great song, and it feels very similar to this, where it's both narrative, it is both important story-wise, and it's also just a catchy song.
It's necessary in this type of story to have something like this. So
You didn't like it.
I didn't find it that memorable, and I guess I was just waiting for Alex Brightman to show up.
God damn, man.
Which he does in the next song, which
You're just
I like.
Okay. All right, fine, fuck it. Go to the next song.
Fuck yes. Watch your step.
Yes.
It isn't safe here, take it from me. When you roam these halls at night, you see some things you can't unsee. All fun and games until someone's dropping to their doom in a room that I just finished mopping. I've seen kids like you who think that they're invincible. Meet fate's a whole lot worse than going to the principal. Is there a ghost here? Well, if you ask me, there are about to be 3. Unless you watch your step, one wrong tumble is all it takes. This thing's deadly. Who'd have thunk this old piece of junk might need, I don't know, functioning brakes?
So Alex Brightman plays a homeless man that lives in the school.
Who gets arrested at the end, I'm pretty sure.
Right? He lives in the bottom of the elevator underneath the auditorium.
The trapdoor.
Yeah. And he sings this little song, and I think they're trying to do a Beetlejuice thing. I don't know if they're trying. It sounds like they are, though.
I'm
but
glad
it's
he
great.
can use his real voice for once.
He still sounds like Beetlejuice a little bit, though, but he's not doing the
I'm Beetlejuice.
yeah, which it makes it sound better, honestly.
He does have a great singing voice at the end of the day. Like, but
Yeah.
the thing is, I don't love this song. I think it's fine, but it's,
It is not the biggest event in here.
like, sincerely, I prefer something like Babbling Brook between Brooke and Ghost Boy.
This is the song that they have like an actual scary tone to, though, and some of the other songs just don't have that.
And
So
Emil's song,
I
you
kind of
mean?
like these. Yeah.
I get that. I get that you just kind of like to actually lean into like the spooky doopy storytelling style. But I kind of like narrative. I like narrative push and having that in an album where you don't need to revisit the book or the original Goosebumps special to understand what's going on. And you get plot and character. Like, I really like the Babbling Brook just because you get a bunch of who this person is, as well as a lot of foreshadowing from Noah Galvin's Ghost Man.
What is happening? What is happening? There's something about this boy, unlike anything I've ever seen. Those eyes, so green. Brooke, my name is Brooke. Brooke.
Are you Brooke Rogers?
Yes?
I heard you got the starring role.
How did you hear that already? And how did you know my name? I mean, are you like stalking me? Cause that's creepy, super creepy. I mean,
No. I just overheard some kids talking on the bus.
oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
He's a ghost.
Yeah.
Do they say anything in this, like in Babbling Brook, about how he's a ghost
There's-
that like you would pick up on the second time, or
Yeah, like, I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm saying. First date jitters happens every time. I mean, every time I'm new, which is pretty pretty rare.
oh,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Gonna keep that in there.
Okay, this is while we're talking, I was literally driving home from somewhere, and my significant other asked me on my car Siri, like, how was your day? How you feeling? And I said, I'm feeling fucking exhausted. And then my car's like, well, then you shouldn't be driving, Jesse. I was like, get the fuck out of here. And then it just didn't send my message. So I got
It turns the
fucking-
car off on the road.
I got shamed by my car, and then it didn't send the text I wanted sent.
Unreal.
Yeah.
And these
so,
things are spying on us. This is what we get for it.
and it called me by my name. It said Jesse. I didn't like it. So I really like Babbling Brook. Let's move on to The Understudy Buddy by Tina.
Hey, Brooke, just calling to say I'm
Bree, what do you got to say about this one?
To me, listening to the album, and I know it was a concept album, I didn't understand how we got there. Like I needed, like I was just like, wait, what happened to Brooke? And I went back to the next song to be like, did something happen to Brooke?
No.
And I just didn't understand how we got there. And I know like there is like, it's a concept album, right? So sometimes you can just go places, but that one just like threw me. I was like, wait, what?
There's probably like a book or something that they give to schools, and there's
There's an actual proper book and a proper version of this.
Do they ever do anything with this though? I feel like it doesn't come back, at least not in the songs.
I mean, this is kind of like the second song of Act 2, or the second or third song of Act 2. So it's just that Brooke looked bad because she was dealing with a lot of stuff, so she called to try to get Brooke to drop out. That's basically what happened.
Okay.
According to a very, very long synopsis on the website. Like, oh my God, this thing's a beast. It's like reading the book itself. I guess they're trying to promote reading even among adults.
How about I don't know, is there another one? But I'd like to just talk about my story, I guess.
Let's
is there
go.
Another one
I'd love to
there?
talk about my story.
'Cause you're kind and smart and silly, and when you smile, even a really ghostly wind seems not so chilly. So many lonely years it took until we met, and yet meeting you, my Esmeralda, was worth the terrible price I had to pay. And though I wish that I could stay, I fear I really must be going.
This is like the Phantom's big number.
Yeah.
And, this one's really good. I feel like it works pretty well. What's your thought?
I really like this one because it's very point of no return from proper Phantom, where he's as the Phantom to Brooke, but she's playing Esmeralda and they're on stage.
Yeah, it's very cool. And then like the teacher, like nobody else knows that it was somebody else, I guess. So I guess Zeke doesn't have a very distinctive voice.
Did you just say Zeke doesn't have a distinctive voice?
What is his name?
Will Roland?
Yeah.
He has
Isn't that
who's
who's playing the Phantom?
Yeah. No, Noah Galvin's playing the Phantom here, but yeah.
No, but Zeke is playing the Phantom in the show.
Yes.
Yeah, he's saying that no one noticed that there was somebody else playing.
It's the same thing that happens in the Phantom of the Opera, but we let that go because that's stupid.
Yeah, it's just Phantom of the Opera, but for kids.
Yeah.
And yeah, then it's over. They sing Goosebumps again.
Yeah, and then they discover the mystery that he was the little boy from 1920s that never got to put on this show.
Which they already told us at the beginning. That is the legend, right?
Yeah.
Like they already told us that. It just happened to be true.
Yeah, but it could have just been Zeke messing around, Andrew. Or Tina
I
trying
guess maybe it was Zeke just messing around.
He is known for pranking. He almost got expelled. It was worth it for the joke, though. He did it for the Vine.
For the memes.
Yo, guys, I made my friend think it was a ghost. How many times did they have to say you're like a sister to me for you to get that they weren't romantically involved? It's at least 3 or 4 times, right?
I mean, honestly, it just makes it a little incestual vibes, you know?
Oh, is this the new Bat Boy? What are you doing, ghost brother?
Dang, it's Halloween time. Time to get
for the incest
out.
I mean, it is House of the Dragons time.
Oh, God.
It is Rick and Morty promoting incest to children again.
Did you see what happened on Family Guy?
Yeah, I did.
Incest is in, baby.
Incest is wincest, baby. Can't wait for
fucking hell yeah. Wincest.
Bree, come on, say it. Say incest is in, baby.
Hell no.
Why don't we just say this children's musical? I'm imagining these composers making it this far in. Like, oh my God, they're talking about her show. Then we end with incest is in, baby.
Sorry, children. Don't listen to this episode.
Don't. We got all the plot
We told
wrong.
you. We warned you just after the fact.
In fact, we just made up the plot. None of it was right. And we don't care because we're just goofing off.
Oh, man. We are just so goofy and we don't respect anything. And it's, wow. Iconoclasts, really.
I hope it makes you cry. Overall, what is our overall thoughts on Goosebumps the Musical, The Phantom of the Auditorium? Bree, why don't you start?
Okay. I very much enjoyed it. I will listen to it again, and if you have 50 minutes to spare driving, take a listen to it. It's catchy, it's fun. You won't hate it. You'll like it. I'm going to give this a smoky bacon cheese ball from Sugarbrook.
That's a good one, Brie. All right, Andrew, how about you?
This is maybe the best Goosebumps thing that isn't one of the books.
I've never watched the Jack Black movies, but I'm inclined to agree with you.
They don't look that good, but maybe they are. Maybe the Jack Black ones are secretly fucking phenomenal, and we just are full of it. But I had a lot of fun listening to it. I would just check out the cast recording on here with all the big names. It's not even that long. It's only like 45 minutes. You can listen to the whole thing in a car ride, you know?
Mm-hmm. And maybe if you have a community theater throwing it on, maybe give it a watch. Support local theaters.
If you can see it live, I mean, yeah, do that up. Yeah, so it's good. Cheese rating, I'm going to give it Say Cheese and Die, which is a Goosebumps book. That's about a camera that takes pictures and kills people.
It leaks your nudes. A camera that leaks your nudes.
No, that's real life.
That's just an iPhone. Sorry. I really like Goosebumps the Musical. I thought it was a really good time, and I'm glad I liked it because I was really worried to dive into it off the off chance that it would just be something we're not into, because we met the gentlemen and they gave us free shit and they seemed really cool. So I would recommend it sincerely, but I'm sure if you're listening to this show and you made it through the incest talk, you basically have made up your mind already and given us the 1-star review for getting everything wrong. On that note, the only cheese I can give this is goose cheese.
That's a good choice.
Do you know what goose cheese is?
No, but it sounds about right.
But on Urban Dictionary, goose cheese is the female version of duck butter. And duck butter is the combination of sweat from the ballsack and the anus that creates a buttery film around the grundle and the butthole.
Why?
Occurring usually...
Wait, this sounds like a bad thing.
This does sound like a bad review.
The example given is, we ain't having sex right now. I haven't showered once on this camping trip. Girl says, don't worry about it. My goose cheese will even the score.
Great choice,
Goose cheese. Dude.
Did you know Ryan Gosling was in the Say Cheese and Die episode of Goosebumps?
No, but that is shocking.
He's the main character.
He's Canadian?
I guess so.
What a wild ride. What a wild connection. I wonder if he'd come back for the remake stage musical of Say Cheese and Die.
I almost wonder if that's like the first thing he's done. This was before he did La La Land, obviously. So.
Hey, Danny Abasha and John McClay. If you do Say Cheese and Die, we want cameos.
Oh no, he was in Are You Afraid of the Dark first.
Oh, he double dipped.
He double dipped.
What a fucking monster. Speaking of monsters,
that's another Canadian one. So
fucking Canada making all these children horror thing when we were just making accidental horror with the Return to Oz and shit like that. On that note, thank you all for listening. Please follow us on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, at Musicals with Cheese. We're on Twitter at Cheesy Musicals, Patreon Musicals with Cheese, Instagram Musicals with Cheese. We have a YouTube page, Musicals with Cheese. Shoot us over on Patreon for our Patreon-only podcast, Patreon with Cheese. Email us at musicaltheaterlives@gmail.com to tell us all the things we did wrong. Our keeper of the cheese is Juliet Antonio. You fucking rock, Juliet. I hope you're having a fucking good day. There's some ASMR for you. Use that. This show is produced by the incredible, the wonderful Brianna Jones. Our theme songs were created by Robin Nash of IOU Music UK. Thank you to the Broadway Podcast Network for having us on the platform and for not kicking us off, for promoting Andrew's deep, deep connection to the incest community. All right, guys. Is there anything else we have to say before we wrap this up?
No, but please never mention goose cheese again.
Goose cheese.
he's just gonna keep talking about it, isn't he?
No, I will never bring that up again. It is a thing that I'm glad I know exists and they have a term for, though.
Just because you have a term for something doesn't mean it exists, Jess.
Yeah. You know, I could have went my whole life without knowing that.
Do you know what truffle butter is?
Yeah, I could also go my whole life without knowing that too.
I don't think we need this explained.
On that note, we'll see you next time on Musicals with Cheese.